too. Lowell worked on the first movie that I ever did in college. I remember shooting a close-up and both of us geeking out over how great it looked, and while all the actors were like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And I just want to say that I wanted to ask him to work with me on movies I worked on in the future, and I won't be able to do that anymore. But every movie I make from now on, it's going to be a little worse off, and it's going to have a hole in it because he won't be there to help me with it. But I'm so grateful that he did get to work with me when he did, and that I was so lucky to have, honestly, the best mentee I could have asked for. So, thank you.
That the atoms that are in our bodies were all forged in stars. And I also know that everybody here loves Lowell Ansel. And by virtue of the first statement, I can also be sure that even though Lowell is not with us, that he will never, ever be gone, because matter can neither be created nor destroyed. And that means that our memories are actually real and they have weight. And I know we have a lot of like heavy science crowds, so hopefully a few of you are hip to these ideas. I didn't go to college, so. Anyway, I know that we all love Lowell dearly, and we're all grieving in our own way. And I just want to say that that there is a silver lining to this, and I know it's very hard to see, but it's up to us to create the silver lining. It doesn't just happen. We have to do it. And I know that everybody in this room is going to dedicate a significant portion of their lives to remembering him in every way that we can. Thank you.
Gloria. And my family has been connected with Lowell's family for 3 generations. Deep individual. And he was a person who had a lot of character. Whenever, my mother had a stroke about a year ago, and whenever I wanted to cheer her up, I would just say Lowell, and then she would just break into this big smile. And she would say, "Oh, Lowell," because she just, loves him very, very much. So I guess I wanted to speak to the young people here because you are the future, and Lowell left a legacy with all of you. He touched you so much, and his love has changed everybody here. And so I want you to think about the future. You represent the future, and Lowell is still a part of you, so carry it on.
And when I was 16, I heard we were going to go to Punderson for a biosophy retreat, which to a 16-year-old sounds like the most boring thing in the world. But it turned out to be pretty cool, because when I was there, my sister and I went there. We met a lot of, people who we hadn't met before, so who were going to become kind of our pseudo-cousins, or as Isaac might say, our fake cousins, Lowell being one of them. And it was, I really only, saw Lowell face-to-face on 2 separate occasions, really, so I don't have that many memories of him. But I always thought of him as a cousin, I guess. And one of those memories, so it was at Punderson, and we were just like all hanging around, like Andrew, Isaac, Ian, and I think Lowell and I were just like walking somewhere. I don't remember it. And then suddenly I noticed that there were so many stars in the sky, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was like, oh, let's just like lie down and look at the stars. So we just like lay down and looked at the stars. And it's funny because I didn't know him that well, but he was one of those people, I think, where when you have memories with him, you think about them. And that's such like a tiny little event. It was maybe like a minute, but I think back to that a lot. And I'll miss him. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've sent a lot of like sappy I love you texts to my friends, because that's really the only thing I think we can do. And it makes me feel a little better that he was very loved, and I think he knew that, and that he loved people, and I think people know that. So.
I'm David Blockstein, also known as JB's dad. And I guess that's the context that I want to speak in today. And Isaac, my story also begins with a wiffle ball, because that's how my first memory of Lowell is at a party at the end of kindergarten, an outdoor party, and the kids are playing wiffle ball, and Lowell kept hitting the ball over the house. And of course, he was the only kindergartner who was capable of hitting the ball over the house, and he did it repeatedly and was very proud of that. And Lowell was very proud of a lot of the things that he did, and very deservedly so. And so over the years, and Joshua has described the incredible friendship that he and Lowell have had, and of course, we've become friends not only with Lowell, but with Ellen and Fenwick. And I think one of the things as parents is that your kid's life becomes your life, and a lot of our closest friends really are parents of our kids' friends, many of whom are in this room. But Lowell, and he was at our house a lot. The parents are kind of in the background, and you guys, we're there, and you're doing your thing. But Lowell would always speak to us, and would always check in with us and how you're doing, and greet us, and things like that. And that's, of course, the way that he's been with everybody. And as the years went on and the kids got older, a lot, as Joshua talked about, and others, the overnights at Lowell's house, and we never really worried a whole lot about them being there, and just because it's an incredible community that you all have, and I think that's one of the lessons of Lowell is friendship and community, and really certain envy, really, on our part about the community of these. The Blair class of 2013, and now extended to the University of Maryland class of 2017, and extended to many others. And so, in our my Jewish tradition, that we say that may your memory be for a blessing, and certainly for Lowell, that's for all of us, that one of the blessings that we have, one of the gifts that we have from Lowell is the friendships and the community that we have, and that will always sustain us, and Lowell will always be a part of our family, and you'll all be a part of our community.
My name is Joan Garnett, and I'm one of the other biosophers in the room, of which there are many. So I met Lowell with his family at various retreats, some of which had very serious things, and he wrote poems, or with the rest of us, about the importance of friendship, and it's very gratifying to see that those were not just words for him, but they were his life, and I thank you for showing me that. And the other thing we did together is have fun, and I must say, Lowell introduced me to some things I had never met before, like Zombie Flux, which is a card game.
I'll make it quick. My name is Rachel. Lowell was a very close friend of mine for what feels like most of my life. And what I want to talk about is Bite 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 Productions and how that name came about. I've always been a lot of a bookworm, and I guess for whatever reason, this particular book, Little Brother, when I read it, I wanted to share it with Lowell. I thought he would really get a kick out of it, and he did. And in this book, there's a game called Bite Bite Bite, and it's a zombie game, sort of a version of zombie tag. And when we were, I guess, around the time that we had read this book, He'd been making more and more films, and so he was looking for a name for his production company, and that was the thing we settled on. And so throughout high school, throughout middle school, throughout watching all of his different films, seeing that over and over again was so special to me, because it was something that we did together. And film was, for a big part of my life, was something that we did together. He was really into the directing side of everything, and I, for a very long time, wanted to be a screenwriter. And after we graduated from high school, I really fell out of touch, and with my friends, and also with writing. And it was always something I kept meaning to do, kept meaning to get back to. And within the days after I found out about Lowell's passing, I sat down and started to write again, because that's what he would have wanted me to do. And I just want to thank him for that, making me get back into things that I love.
Well, so this isn't even varsity, like, it's not that serious. JV baseball, mercy ruled, so, other school today, score, can't let up focus now, gotta stay focused, need to finish focused against remaining schools. And, if anything, from everything Lowell did and the intensity and the repetitiveness with which he did it, I just think that, the lesson he taught me at least was do everything as hard as you can, as loud as you can, and in front of as many people as you can, and get people to care. And I appreciate that, and I'm sure y'all also will.
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry we have to cut this off, but we need to vacate the theater at 2:30, which is in 5 minutes, so there's time to clean it up for the 3 o'clock show. As long as we don't block moviegoers from getting into this theater or getting to the restaurant, the AFI will let us continue our discussions in the hallways. If the long program has made you a bit peckish, feel free to pick up more food on the way out. They're going to move it out of this room further out. Whatever's left over will be donated to Shepherd's Table to feed the hungry, which would be full. Make sure you sign the guest book and check out the small exhibit of movie posters and prize awards in the hall display cases. If you missed it on the way in, please look for Lowell's name on the marquee zipper outside. Thank you all so much for turning out to honor the promising young adult we still thought of as our little doll boy. Service.